Well, hey, I'm glad you're here. Come on in. Let's get started. All right, guys, welcome to class. I'm excited to have you in here. We're going to be doing lots of different art projects and doing a lot of fun things and learning together. But as you can see right here, as you first come in, it's going to have our schedule of the day. It'll show all the classes when A and B, either way, come in and out of class. Right next to there, you can see we've got some special little magnets that you may see your name on one day, and it would be if you were assigned to a special group project at that moment. As we move down, you'll see now we have our wonderful Taskmasters Hall of Fame. And if you look up there, it says, this is a job for. This is where you're gonna see your jobs, depending on the day and which class you're in. If you're in a class that gets to get messy, guess what? We're gonna have some jobs to do. We'll go over those in just a little bit. As we go past there and we go further along the class, you will see a long row of lockers. Those will be assigned to you this year if you're in one of the classes that will need to store your art projects in the locker while it dries or while you're building it. So you don't have to build everything in just one day. Art takes time. So you will be storing your project in your own locker, which you will be sharing with somebody else. As we come towards the back of the room, you will see we have this lovely two-sided sink with 4 faucets on each side. Now, if that's your job to clean that, you'll have fun. It's always fun, right? We get messy, we still have to clean up. So that's where you'll find our sinks. Come past these lockers. Back here, we are going to have some wheels. Now, those are for obviously 3D and some other special projects. They're gonna be back here, and some of you may be lucky enough to be able to throw on one. As we go past there, and we come to the very back, right over here, we have our kiln room. Now in here is where we will fire any clay projects that we do. Once they're fired, you'll then be able to glaze them, and then we'll fire them one more time and that glaze comes out all nice and shiny. Once we move past there, you can see we have a bunch of paper. Now these are your shelves. After you build something out of clay, they will store on here once they're dry so that we can put them in the kiln to have them fired for you. Moving along, you'll see some supplies next to all those papers. That's where you're gonna find your markers, colored pencils, scissors, rulers, pretty much anything you'll need to use other than glaze for any of our projects. Now, these are very organized. I expect you to keep them organized. It's part of your job, part of what we do. We have to keep them clean so we have them nice for years to come. All right, so go past there, you'll see we have our paper cutter. We have our lovely futon. Some of you may remember this futon. That is the Wilkes Lounge, and we'll get into that at a later date. Past there, you'll see that we have my desk and also some of our printers for photography. And that is basically an all-around tour for our classroom. There is one last room I'd like to show you. Well, actually where it's at. We are gonna be using that for a little bit because we gotta get it set up. But we have right here, which used to be the dark room. It's going to be eventually our podcast room where we'll be able to do podcasts about art or other things that are happening in the school. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the classroom. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about me. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how is my new teacher so ridiculously good looking? Well, as you can see, it started out when I was a young child. Always had that cute little grin on, always had the best outfits to wear no matter where I went, and I always rode my horse Trigger. Must be because I had good genes. Here's a picture of my family and my evil brother. My favorite dog, Heidi. Now, one thing you'll notice in a lot of my pictures is I do love the holidays. Here's from Christmas. Here's another one of me. These are just showing me over the years. Here's me and my family. Look at that awesome grin. One of the most important things to me growing up was spending time with my cousins and always having that Beautiful grin. Here's a picture of me and my mom. We were getting ready for school, of course. I know you're thinking, I look like a model. Well, pretty close. One of my favorite things to do is to travel. I don't care where it's at. I'm happy to go, whether it's on a plane. Here's Germany. This is Neuschwanstein and Germany. Here's another castle up in Germany. Bunch of Linderhof. Love to go to Universal Studios in California. My favorite thing to do is go on that studio tour, and there's me with Lucille Ball. And of course, I should be an Emmy winner by now, right? This is Plymouth Rock, where you get to see the rock. Love to travel around in Salt Lake and Utah as well. Been on a hot air balloon in Turkey. Been to the magical city of Troy. That's the horse behind me, but I'm in the road. Sorry about that. Here's a Colosseum in Turkey as well. Taking a ferry over to another land. And you won't believe this, but I was nominated the King of Turkey. Go figure. This is me and a bird named Frankie eating lunch. And then I've also sailed a catamaran. This is me hoisting the sail. I had to hoist the sail. I had to work. You know, I go on this trip and they make me do some work. How fair is that?
Nice job, guys. Outstanding. And now, the teeny tiny sail.
Well, this is from my trip to the Netherlands, and you'll never believe it, but I was actually able to find my right size of shoe. It's hard to find shoes my size, but luckily in the Netherlands they happen to have them there. This is from the original torch of the Statue of Liberty in New York. And there's me with the Statue of Liberty herself. From Ellis Island and from the 9/11 Memorial. Another shot here of me standing in front of Plymouth Rock. Of course, my smile is in the road. Salem, Massachusetts. Wonderful city of Chicago. Now, I may support you in the classroom, but I also support you out of the classroom. If you're in school plays or local plays, love to attend those to support you. Love doing videos and films with my students. Love when they come back to see me after they've moved on. Like to do lots of fun activities, especially pictures, lots of pictures. Here's some of our friends that you will see here at our school now that you should know or may know. Supporting public education. A few years ago I was awarded the Best in Davis for my efforts in teaching. Got to celebrate with some friends and some of my school teacher friends as well. Now, being in education, I never would have thought that it meant also going and speaking out for public education. Going to the state capitol, speaking with representatives, news media, working with other teachers to talk with our representatives, telling each of our representatives what challenges we face in our schools, making sure they understand what it's like to be in our schools, what each of you face each and every day. Another exciting thing I get to do is I get to work with some wonderful people, educating some of our future teacher leaders, going over things that they can do to understand who they need to speak with to support public education. Being in education, I've made some amazing friends throughout the state and throughout our district, and I've met some famous people in the education world as well. I am so excited to be here with you on this journey. I can't wait to see the things you do, and I can't wait to support you in and out of the classroom. Let's have a great year, and let's get started.